Today's video is brought to you by Very Good. Check out upcoming workshops at shopverygood.com. I've had this video on my concept list for quite some time. It's sort of a challenging video to wrap my head around because the M11 line is a digital line, the M6 is a mechanical film camera, so it's really hard to compare the two because they're kind of apples and oranges. But I do recognize that many people are looking to get into the M system or make some cross-lateral move within the M system, and this is a decision that you have to process. Do I go with a film camera? Do I go with a digital camera? Do I go with a flagship M11? Do I go with an old 40, 50, 60-year-old film camera? So it is a relevant thing to talk about, even though it's apples and oranges. I mean, I guess it's all fruit. Leica just raised their prices once again on their new digital cameras, putting the M at over $10,000 now, which is a lot of freaking money. And so you can get a mechanical film camera for like a third of that. The M6 is currently on the used market for around $3,000 to $3,500, which is significantly cheaper than like a new M11 line. But you can also find digital M's much cheaper as well on the used market. I've got a link, I'm gonna put it right above, that's kind of like a digital buyer's guide. It was from last year, but it's still kind of the same except for, the new price increases on the new cameras. So as I thought about how to organize this video, I just came up with like 3 thought topics. The first is why shoot film or digital or both? Like, what is one doing, the other's not, and what is the advantage? I mean, we're gonna talk about all of that, like the philosophy of it all. The second thing we're going to do is a cost analysis, and I'm gonna break it down in a pretty creative way. And when you see the numbers, it's gonna blow your freaking mind. And the third thing we're gonna do is just ask the question, like, who is a digital Leica for? Who's a film Leica for? We're gonna keep it easy today, keep it centered on those 3 thought topics. But before we do all that, if this is your first time here, my name is Dave. I'm a photographer from the Bay Area of California. If you aren't subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. A lot of videos on the horizon covering so many different ranges of topics, but really photography mindset videos, tutorials, and of course, practical gear talks are what we're all about here. So hit that subscribe button and follow along. So my cameras are the M11P Safari and the M6. I've had this one for a little less than a year. I've had this one for several years. This one comes from a long line of digital M's that led me to this one. This is the only film M I've ever had. I want to first just address like why I have both. And I recognize that I'm in a very fortunate position to have both. I am a child of the 80s and 90s. I started photography as a film photographer, and I got into digital around 2006 because digital made things easier. And please don't kill me when I say this word, but it just made photography better. Better in the sense that you could be instantly gratified because you could take a photo and immediately see it. There was no dropping off your film at the 1-hour photo or the Walgreens or Walmart. I mean, all that whole process of having to drop off the film, get it developed, get the prints, go through it, or, even the CDs. You guys remember those when we would get our film scans put on CDs so we could have digital copies of them? Those were good times. All of that was done away with film photography. And if you were doing photography, whether it was for fun or you were doing professional work, digital just made things easier. But I did always stay with the old ways and continue to keep film cameras. I still have my original high school point and shoot, which I've had now for 30 years. And while many other film cameras came and went, I've always had a film camera. It's always been part of my photography. Today, I still very much enjoy film photography, but I find digital photography to still be better. Again, better as in efficient, better as in fast, better as in inconsequential. With digital cameras, you can go out and just do whatever. If your hit rate is low, who cares? It didn't really cost you much that day. It cost you a lot on the front end. We'll get to that in a minute. But it's inconsequential, it's efficient, it's quick. You can evaluate in the moment how things are going. And I think there's a very strong case to be made that digital photography is just really a better process for most people. So when it comes to travel, family, or just everyday stuff, I'm always very tempted just to take out the M11P because it is quick, it's easy, it's efficient, it's inconsequential. When it comes to film photography, I really just enjoy the process. And yeah, it has an aesthetic, but I edit that aesthetic because when you digitize a film scan, you in fact are editing. In fact, editing is part of photography. Even printing is editing. Like everything is editing. So the look of, say, Portra 400 is kind of subjective to how it was scanned and processed. Personally, I like my film photos to be a little cooler and a little cleaner, and I like my digital photos to be a little softer and crunchier. So it's like finding this happy medium between the two, which brings me joy. I use the M6 pretty often, but sometimes I only use the M6, especially when I just want to change up my own personal rhythms. An example of this was just recently I was in Los Angeles for a weekend and I only took the M6 and the Hasselblad 500 CM. I didn't take a single digital camera. I went out and I did a variety of things without any knowledge, whether they turned out okay or whether they are exposed properly. I just went off of my experience, the light meter in the M6, and just whatever I felt like doing that day in that moment. There's no instant gratification. There's no checking your exposure. There's no checking that shutter. You are truly working with a lot of limitations, whereas in digital, you don't have all of those limitations. You have things like auto ISO. On film, you've got that locked and you just have to deal with it. I think film photography makes you think more. It makes you have to be more intentional. The limitations on a film camera, as well as only getting 36 exposures, or in some cases 24 exposures, those things are challenges and things you're going to compromise and have to think about. And I personally enjoy those things. I don't enjoy those things every single time I go shoot and every day, but I think it's good to shoot film occasionally and have to get into that headspace of things being consequential, things having to be compromised, and not having like everything just served easily as it is in most digital cameras, including the Leica M, where I can just look at the back of my screen and see what's up. All right, I want to talk about a cost analysis because I mentioned on the front end that Leica has once again raised their prices to the new M's to over $10,000 at this point, which is, again, just absolutely bananas. They've always been expensive, but that's bananas. And I'm not here to justify it or judge it, whatever. Companies do whatever they want, but I'm getting my phone out because I'm going to tell you guys some numbers and I don't have them memorized. So I'm going to use my notes here. And this is pretty mind-blowing stuff. So check this out. You're going to like this. My M6 is the big logo M6, which was made in 1987. It doesn't have the word Leica M6 on it. It just says M6. They didn't make a ton of these, and they made this production line for 1 year, 1987. So this camera is 39 years old. For the sake of math, because we're photographers and not mathematicians, we're going to call it 40. When the Leica big logo M6 came out, it was $1,695 adjusted for inflation. That puts a price today at $4,854. So a new Leica in 1987 to the value of $1 was less than half of today's Leicas. And of course, today's Leicas are packed full of technology and whatever, like you get it, different world, apples and oranges. My M11P today, $10,495, very different cost. But here's where it gets really fun. This camera is 40 years old, has had 0 firmware updates. This camera, new in 1987, as of right now, spring 2026, if we take spring 1987, this camera cost to own has been 12 cents a day. So again, with the math, 40 years, cost is broken down to 12 cents a day for the M6. Let's also just say that 12 cents a day is broken across maybe 2 generations, because in 87, I was a kid. And let's say my dad would have bought that camera. He did not. My dad doesn't do any photography. But let's say that my dad owned that camera. I am able to be given that camera as a photographer today by my dad. I'm an adult. He would have bought it when he was an adult. You can kind of get the point that I'm making here. This is a 1 generation removed camera. So then I did the same math on the M11P. If this camera could hit the value of 12 cents a day, who would own this camera? Would it be One generation? How long would it take? Let's talk about those numbers. Okay, to get the M11P to 12 cents a day, it will hit that number in September of 2264. That will take 239 and a half years to get that camera to 12 cents a day. And if we were running that same logic, then I want to pass this camera down in my family. Let's say that my son has a kid at 30 and they have a kid at 30 and they have a kid at 30. We're just using 30 for simple numbers here, but let's just pretend that happens. It will take until my great, 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 great grandchild, who will be born in 2225, and he will be 39 years old when he's holding this 11P Safari. That's crazy. It'll take me having 6 generations down to get to where that camera can be inherited at 12 cents a day. You can just basically conclude at this point that the M11P Safari, it's never going to have like the financial payoff, but you don't buy a camera like that because it's an investment or it's a financial payoff. You get that camera because of what you can do with it today. So if you're thinking like long-term with your cameras and you're using digital cameras, they're never going to hold a candle anywhere remotely close to the cost per day of the mechanical film cameras that are out there. They still work and are still in good order. So who is a film Leica camera for? Who's a digital Leica camera for? Really, again, we've been talking apples and oranges this whole time. But as I said earlier, I'll just reiterate it now. If you are looking for experience A, which is efficiency and inconsequential, and you have the funds to invest into that and do it for you, for your experience, for the art that you want to make, then it just makes way more sense to go with digital. You can color grade it, you can edit it, you can turn those photos into whatever you want them to be. You can shoot thousands of photos a day. Like, there really is nothing you cannot do with a digital camera today. Think experience. And that's where the film side comes in, because it is a vastly different experience. It's full of limitations. It's full of compromises. And of course, there's that delayed gratification part where you're just going to be someone who loves being patient while your stuff gets developed and scanned. Or you can take on that project yourself, which I love developing and scanning my own film. And I go through seasons where I do it and then seasons where I let the lab do it. So you would, of course, choose a film camera for the experience of film, things that have consequence, things that have compromise. It's gonna stretch you, but also a digital M can stretch you too. Again, we've been talking about apples and oranges this entire time. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.